Hi everyone, I hope all is well. Today is the second day of Iyar, and I hope it was a fantastic day and that it is a beautiful Shabbat ahead. I know that many minyanim will focus on the theme of Yom HaAtzmaut, which we are going to celebrate on Tuesday, Be'ezrat Hashem. I wanted to focus our conversation today on the Perashat Kedoshim, which finds itself in the center of Sefer Vayikra. Sponsor for this month's classes, Joey and Raquel Franco, in honor of the minyan, so thank you and Tizkul Mitzvot. Perashat Kedoshim features the famous mitzvah, the famous pasuk, Ve'avta l'reacha kamocha ani Adonai. The larger pasuk is, Lo tikom ve'lo titor et bnei amecha. You should not take revenge or hold a grudge against anybody. Ve'avta l'reacha kamocha. You should love your neighbor as you love yourself. Ani Hashem, I am Hashem. Interestingly enough, there's another pasuk in the Torah that commands us to love, to have that emotion, a little bit later in the same perek, and that pasuk says, "V'chiyaguri techaged ba'artechem lo tonu oto." You should not oppress the ged. Ke'ezrach mikem yeh lachem aged agari techem, and you should accept the ged, the convert, the stranger, the one who's coming into the circle, as you do someone that you already know, someone who is a citizen, someone who's already part of the nation. You should accept him in the same way. Ve'ahavta lo kamocha, you should love him, this ged, as you love yourself. Ki gerim heitem be'eretz Mitzrayim, because you were strangers in Mitzrayim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, I am Hashem your God. And therefore, you should love this ged, because you know what it's like. You were in Egypt. You know what it's like to be on the other side of the line. You know what it's like to be a stranger, to be a pariah, to be an outcast. And therefore, based on your own experiences of knowing what it feels like to be outside of the circle, you should be able to and want to bring these people in and embrace them and accept them and love them as you do yourself. There's a third commandment in which the Torah tells us that we have to feel the emotion of love, and that of course is in Sefer Devarim, when the Torah tells us we have to love God. That you have to love God with all of your heart and all of your soul and all of your might. It's interesting that there is a progression of the love commandments that are in the Torah. First, you have to love your friend. Easy. It's easy to love my friend because he's my friend. We have a relationship. I know him. Then, then you have to love the ged, the stranger. Not so easy. Somebody I don't know who's coming in, but perhaps someone who I can learn to love because he becomes part of my nation. And then the most difficult, the most distant, is Ve'avta et Adonai Elohecha. You have to love Borei Olam, which may be the most difficult because I can't see Hashem, I can't feel Hashem, I can't hear Hashem, I can't touch Hashem. So it's difficult to create a loving relationship with an entity, with a God, with a being that I don't necessarily understand or know. What I find to be most fascinating is that there really is a fourth layer of love that is predicated, that all of these are predicated upon. That is really the prelude to all of these, and that is Ve'avta l'reacha kamocha. You should love your friend as you love yourself. The assumption that the Torah makes is that you love yourself. And in the same way that you love yourself, you have to love all of these other people. And in learning to love these other people and embracing them, you can come to love Borei Olam. By definition, what that means is that I can't create a loving relationship with anyone or even Borei Olam if I don't love myself. And in that, it doesn't mean to say to have ego and to have pride and to be narcissistic and to love myself because I'm so perfect and great and beautiful. It means to have self-confidence, to know who I am. This is who I am. This is my identity. These are my strengths. These are my weaknesses. This is what I do well. This is what I don't do well. And to have a sense of self and be comfortable in your own skin to the point where you have the ability to be self-confident and have self-esteem and know who you are and be happy with who you are in all aspects. And if I can truly love myself in the proper fashion, then with that I can go out and I can create loving relationships with a friend for whom it should be easy. Even with a stranger who it's more difficult. But if I learn to love myself and I learn to love others, I should be able to learn to love the ged and then ultimately to love Borei Olam, because if I have my own self-confidence and I surround myself with the right people and I do chesed to other people who may not be directly in my circle, but I've learned to love them because I understand what it means, then ultimately I can get to love HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So at the end of the day, any loving relationship I'm going to create is all predicated on the fact that I love myself in a way that is healthy, and I'm happy with who I am, and I'm comfortable in my own skin. And then I can go out and I can bring others into my circle. Shabbat Shalom.